Hey, this is the how to use a HELOC to buy assets that build passive income and why you should. Most financial gurus will tell you never use your home equity to invest. And if you don't have a plan, they would actually be right because it can get you in trouble fast. But with the right strategy, that same equity could be one of the smartest wealth building tools you have, because it's not about buying cars or going on vacations or adding to your liabilities. It's about using a HELOC to buy assets that actually pay you every single month. Hey, I'm Adam Carroll, founder of the Shred Method. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use a HELOC to invest in assets that build passive income and why doing this could put you on the fast track to financial freedom. And to see why this is so important, let's start with the one thing most people are missing when opportunities come along, and that is liquidity. Why liquidity matters. The reason I bring this up is because when people hear never use your home equity, what they're really being told is to keep their wealth locked away where they can't touch it. And that creates the single biggest challenge most people face: no liquidity. Think about it. What if you had the chance to put $50,000 into an investment that paid 10 to 15% every year? For most people, the answer is they can't. Not because the opportunity isn't real, there are plenty of those out there, but because they don't have the cash available when that opportunity shows up. And that's the real cost of having no liquidity. You miss the chance to buy assets that could have been paying you every single month. Liquidity is what gives you the ability to say yes to those opportunities, and those opportunities are what create financial freedom. The two paths to financial freedom. When most people think about financial freedom or retirement, they're really talking about one of two paths. The first is the traditional retirement path. Save up a giant pile of money and hope that it lasts. This is the path of the 401k, the IRA, the pension. You work for 40 years, put money away, and then when you stop working, you start spending down that pile. Here's the problem. That pile is under constant attack. Inflation eats away at it, market swings shrink it, healthcare costs rise faster than you planned for, and so you spend your retirement years hoping you don't run out of cash before you run out of heartbeats. But the second path is completely different. Instead of focusing on a pile, you focus on streams of passive income that cover your lifestyle. That could be from rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, business investments, or even alternative assets. So if your lifestyle costs $5,000 a month and your assets reliably pay you $5,000 a month, technically you're financially free. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter if you're 35 or you're 75. You don't need to wait until traditional retirement age, whatever that is. And just for historical context, the idea of retiring at 65 was put in place with the 1935 U.S. Social Security Act, when the average lifespan of an adult male was, wait for it, 58. 65 seemed like a manageable number for a variety of reasons, but it is a much different reality today. And this is where liquidity comes back into play, because the only way you can start building those income streams is if you have capital to put into assets. Most people, they just don't have it. But what most people don't know is that the equity sitting in their home could be the bridge that gets them there. The right way to use a HELOC. So if passive income is the smarter path to financial freedom, the big question is, how do you actually get into those income-producing assets if you don't have the cash on hand? And as I mentioned previously, that's where the HELOC comes in. But let me be clear, a HELOC is not free money, and it's definitely not meant for toys or vacations. Too many people get into trouble using their home equity to buy things that lose value, and that would be the wrong way. The right way is to think of a HELOC as liquidity you can tap into when the right asset comes along. It's like having a flexible pool of capital sitting there waiting for you. Instead of missing out on opportunities, you've got the ability to move quickly and confidently. And when you combine a HELOC with a system like the Shred Method, you're not just borrowing against your home, you're also accelerating your debt payoff and increasing your HELOC limit over time. That means more liquidity, more opportunities, less interest on debt, and a faster path to building passive income. I'll actually talk about this in detail in one of my future videos. What assets can you buy? For now, let's talk about what kinds of assets you could actually buy with a HELOC. Because again, the goal isn't to spend this money, it's to invest it into things that pay you back. The most obvious one, of course, is real estate. A HELOC can cover the down payment on a rental property, that generates steady cash flow every single month. So as an example, I've seen people use their home equity to pick up a modest single-family rental, and that one property ends up paying them $400 to $500 a month in positive cash flow. That's income they wouldn't have had otherwise, and it's building equity on top of it. Another one could be investing in mini storage facilities. These can look boring from the outside, but they are fantastic cash flow machines. People will always need a place to store their stuff, and if you can get in on the ownership side, you're creating a reliable income stream. Now, it doesn't have to be just real estate either. Some people use liquidity from a HELOC to buy dividend-paying stocks, which throw off cash quarterly, or to participate in syndications where you pool money with other investors to buy bigger projects. And there are even alternative investments like art, collector cars, things that not only appreciate, but also produce income if structured right. The point is this: with liquidity, you have options. You're not stuck waiting until you're 65 to touch your retirement accounts. You can start building assets that pay you today. Risk versus reward. But I know what you're probably thinking. Isn't this risky? What if the investment doesn't work out? And candidly, that is a fair question, because using leverage without a plan can absolutely be risky. But the risk isn't in the HELOC itself, it's in how you use it. If you're swiping it for vacations or cars or stuff around the house, you're digging a hole. But if you're putting it into cash flowing assets with a clear strategy and an exit plan, you're building a ladder out. Here's the thing that most people miss. Having no liquidity is actually riskier. If you're stuck with all your wealth tied up in a house or in a retirement account and you can't touch it, you're forced to sit out opportunities that may present themselves. And meanwhile, inflation is eating away at your savings and your pile of money is shrinking every single year, which is also a risk. It is just disguised as safety. The key here is being intentional. You only put HELOC funds into assets that can pay you back either directly in cash flow or an equity growth that's predictable. And you keep an exit strategy in place so that if your situation changes, you can always scale back without putting your home at risk. So when you weigh the two, missing out on opportunities because you don't have liquidity, or strategically using equity to buy assets that produce income, the second option obviously looks a lot less risky. And that brings us to the big takeaway. A HELOC isn't just about paying down debt faster, though the shred method works amazingly well at that. If done right, the HELOC is also a tool that can help you build long-term wealth and buy back your time. So the takeaway is your home equity doesn't just have to sit there locked away. With the right strategy, that HELOC can give you the liquidity you need to buy assets that actually pay you every single month. And when you step back and you look at the two paths to financial freedom, it becomes clear. You can spend decades piling up money and hoping that it lasts, or you can start building passive income streams now using tools like a HELOC to accelerate the process. And even if you get started slowly, we have clients who've bought one property a year for 5 to 10 years to create their own level of financial freedom. Dip your toe in the water and get started, because one path leaves you waiting until you're 65, hoping the math works out, and the other puts you in control today, creating cash flow and options long before traditional retirement age. That's the power of using a HELOC strategically. It's not about taking on more debt. It's about turning the equity you already have into a wealth-building machine. If you want to learn more about the shred method and see exactly how to put into motion everything I just walked through about using a HELOC to unlock wealth, click the link below in the description. There you'll find a free savings calculator that will show you how much in savings is at stake, as well as a masterclass that shows you the ins and outs of our program. And if you made it this far, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe so you never miss any of this brain candy once it's released. I'll see you in the next video.